Hello. So before you watch this video, you should have already completed step one, which was select a social class, get the handout about that social class from me, read the handout, answer the just easy questions on the bottom of it, and then get the next sheet from me. The next sheet is the sheet of the outline of the person, which you will complete step two on. So step two is drawing what a person from your social class would look like. So the social class you chose for this activity. You want to focus on clothing. Do they have jewelry? What would their hair look like? Would they have any headdresses on their hair? What would their makeup look like? Things like that. So here we have Pharaoh. So if you chose a Pharaoh, these are the things you're going to want to think about. They have a fancy headdress, right? They have the beard, which symbolizes power. They have bracelets on their arms, a necklace around their neck. They have really elaborate bottoms, things like that. So you want to make sure you're focusing on that. Also pay attention to the eyes, right? You have that eyeliner makeup that we see on a lot of Egyptians. So if you chose Pharaoh, you're going to want to try to emulate this kind of decoration and ornamentation. Nobles are a little different. So for a noble man, you might have just plain bottoms with a neck decoration and some sort of wig. They could also be more decorated though, so you might have more decorations on the arms and the neck, and maybe even wearing a top, okay? For women, you have very long flowy dresses that are, a little elaborate and decorated. You also have headdresses, wigs, jewelry, as well as the standard makeup we see on a lot of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. So make sure you're paying attention to everything that's going into you creating your Egyptian noble. If you chose skilled worker, you have kind of a plain white bottom. The hair is a little different, right? This includes craftsmen, so people making pots or sculptures, merchants, as well as scribes, so people who keep track of the records of ancient Egypt. Farmers, slaves, and peasants would dress pretty plain, right? You have the wig, though, you still have the hair. Less jewelry, little to no jewelry, but you still have those long white garments, both for the men and the women. Here you might have some slaves who are even more plainly dressed than that of the farmers. Jewelry would only be found on higher class people, right? So on noble women, maybe even some skilled workers, they would have bracelets or neck decorations, really elaborate headdresses, bracelets, in the makeup, like I said, things like that. So you're going to want to pay attention to that kind of stuff when you're drawing your person. The final step is a diary entry. This diary entry should be in first person, so you should be saying I, we, us, and you're taking on the role of someone from the social class you chose. So you need to briefly explain to me who you are, what social class you're from, and then give me at least 5 activities you've done throughout your day, okay? You're going to want to talk about multiple things. Here's an example. It says, Dear Diary, today is my first day of school and I am so excited. Jem has agreed to walk me to the schoolhouse, and the whole way I was bouncing out of my shoes. I hate wearing shoes. I usually walk around barefoot, but today Atticus said it was a special occasion, like church or something. When I got to the schoolhouse, Jem told me not to even bother him at school and to always stay with the first graders. I didn't like that very much and wondered if we'd still be able to play at home. School was a total disappointment. Miss Caroline didn't seem to like me very much and made me learn the alphabet all over again when I could read perfectly fine. She was only 21 and had just moved into town, so she didn't know about any of the town's family history. She didn't know the Walters family was extremely poor and that the Elway children only ever showed up on the first day of school. I felt sorry for her when she started to break down, but it will take me some time to forgive her for hitting me with a ruler. Dear Diary, I hope school gets better or I might have to quit. Atticus says I can't, but I cannot stand the fact that I'm not allowed to read. I will try to be nicer to Miss Caroline, but I just feel like she doesn't like me very much. Good night, Diary. See you soon. So you'll want to pay attention, and it's in first person, right? It's using I, we, us. It's a place for you to record the things you do throughout a day, how you feel, and other personal sentiments like that, okay? So this is what you will be writing, taking on the role of an ancient Egyptian in the social class you chose for your project.